Hello. It is like a week after the half Ironman, and I think that it is time that I gave you a recap of how the whole race went, everything afterwards, all of my feeling, all of my thoughts. We're just gonna sit here and have a little bit of a chat about how the race went overall. I think it's important to note that I have in fact been wearing this sweatshirt as like a trophy and have like not taken it off for like the full week since the race took place. But how cute is it? And it has everybody's name on the back. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, all the women's names because I got a women's jumper. Let's just hop right into things. So I got up the morning of the race, probably around 4:30 or so. Actually, I feel like we should backtrack a little bit because there was a lot going on the day before that I honestly hadn't really expected. Like, I didn't realize that I was going to be dropping my bike off the day before, and also that they were going to have this like big expo thing happening. Like, I knew that there would be a shop. I knew, like, after I read the instructions, I knew I was going to be dropping off my bike. I knew I'd be getting like my race pack and all of that kind of stuff and like all of my numbers and just getting all set up for the race the next day. But I didn't realize just how like fun it would be. There's like food trucks that were out. There was like a band playing. I sat there. I got there a little bit later than I wanted to. I went to the athletes briefing and I listened to all of that. It took a lot longer than I was expecting. It was like probably like over an hour. Well, maybe just about an hour probably of how long it actually took. But they also had a practice swim on, which I was hoping to do. After the meeting, I got my packet, picked up my number, walked back to my car, got changed into my swimsuit, my wetsuit, all of that, got over to the water, and it was like 15 minutes before the swim technically ended, the prep swim ended. So I was like, oh shoot. So I was getting ready and I realized I forgot my swim cap, which was less than ideal, but I was like, okay, whatever, I can just get in the water with my hair as it is, no biggie. But as I went to go get in the water, the ranger was like, no, you can't do that. You have to have a swim cap. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have time to go all the way back to my car and then come back all the way to the swim start. So I did not get to do a practice swim, unfortunately, but honestly, I don't think it made much of a difference at that point. Like the water was so much calmer than the water that I have been prepping in, so that was a very welcome surprise. The night before I went out, got Italian food, had some pasta to carb load, hung out with my friend. I was so stressed, I was so nervous just about the whole thing, and I was just like not sure how it would go. Obviously, I feel like it's so normal to be stressed the day before. But yeah, I got to bed at like a pretty reasonable time, packed up all of my stuff the night before. In the morning, I got up at like 4:30-ish, I think, in the end, and I had some cereal. I literally just had some frosted mini wheats and some milk with it, just because that's just like my normal cereal, and I didn't want to like try to do something crazy right before the race because my stomach can get a little bit iffy if I try new things. Filled up my waters for like my carb mix in my waters so that I would have that ready for the bike. And then we headed over to Jones Beach. So like I said, I was staying with my friend and she was pretty close by and she was very kind and drove me there in the morning. It was really easy. They had really good parking and facilities and everything. Pretty straightforward. It was a little bit chaotic. Like there's just a lot going on. They only allow athletes into the transition area, which I think is really good, honestly. And there's just like so many people doing this race. There were just so many bikes like stacked back to back to back, and I honestly wasn't even sure like which side of my bike I was supposed to be putting my stuff on, and so I actually put all of my stuff on the wrong side of my bike and then realized that I was kind of in the way of people, and I was like, oh shoot, like I'm so supposed to be on the other side of my bike. So I had to go all the way around and like reset everything up. But we had it all laid out. It was really pretty actually as the sun was coming up. I was like, this is very relaxing. It was nice that the weather was so nice because I know at Jones Beach in the past couple of years they have not had good weather, and so we were completely blessed. It was absolutely gorgeous. A little bit of wind, but like nothing crazy at all. I had one little like scratch bar before I started, just another little granola bar, basically protein bar, energy bar, just so that I had one more little bite to eat right before I went to go line up for the swim start. So it was a rolling swim start, and I seated myself in the 40 to 43 minutes on the swim, which I feel like was definitely the right choice. I was a little bit nervous because I know how fast I swim in the pool compared to how fast I've been swimming in my open water situations, and I've been so much slower in open water. But I was looking at the conditions of the water and I was like, it is so calm. I have been swimming in jellyfish. I have been swimming in massive waves. I've swam in some lakes that had crazy amounts of like seaweed. And this actually seems like the absolute perfect open water swim that I'm about to go do. So I was like, I'm gonna go aim for like 40 minutes or so. It really was. It was like the perfect swim. It was just such good conditions. There was a little bit of waves whenever I got pretty far out. Like the course basically did like a rectangle, and whenever I was on the far side of that rectangle, there was definitely some waves, and then coming back I felt them a little bit as well, but like in a helpful manner, so they were kind of pushing me along. I was nervous about potentially like being kicked by people. Like that was honestly one of my biggest concerns, was just I listened to somebody talking about something and they were like, oh, I got kicked and I got this concussion and I was basically out before it even started, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want that. I really don't want that. So luckily it was all smooth. There was definitely a lot of people. Some of the sighting was pretty difficult, especially whenever there were a little bit more waves, but overall it went really, really well, and I was just so pleased with the swim. Like that was one of my best swims I think I've done, and I was very happy with my time. I did that in 43 minutes and 20 seconds. It's a very average time for a swim, but because I'm below average on everything else, I was very happy to have an average time for my swim. And so yeah, I was really pleased with that. I was a little bit disorientated just coming out of the water. I was like, okay, what now? What? Like 1 down, 2 to go, and I was so stressed about the bike, like so stressed. Like that was really my main concern going into this thing. Like I've done a half marathon before. I know I can swim, like whatever, it's fine. Especially if there's like no creatures that I have to be dealing with. I know I would be good. So it was really just the bike that I was just so nervous about. And I took my time in transition for that reason. It took me 9 minutes and 11 seconds to do T1, which is so long when I think about that in comparison to other people that I've heard about. But it worked for me. I gave myself the time to just make sure that I had everything prepped on the bike. I had my 2 carb waters going on. I had a race belt where I had some like electrolyte chews and like honey stinger energy chews as well, just things that I knew would make me feel good as I was going. I had a Stroop waffle, like one of the honey stinger energy waffles as well. I put on the cleats, got the bike out, and we were off. One more comment about transition. I just didn't fully anticipate how difficult it would be for me to get my wetsuit off, and that is definitely something that I should have practiced in advance. So that is definitely a takeaway I would have done a little bit differently, is just figuring out how the heck to take that off, and just practicing transition in general, because I was like so nervous I was forgetting something, and I was like, if I'd have just like practiced this in advance, I probably could have done it significantly quicker, because I like hung around there. I was like going back through my head like a million times trying to think of what else I might have forgotten. Anyway, time for the bike. Like I said, I was so nervous about doing the bike, but luckily it was all fine. It was all dandy. It was actually great. It went so much better than I was expecting. What I loved about this particular course, first of all, completely flat. Like half the reason I wanted to do Joe's Beach is like protected bay swim, super flat bike, completely closed roads, and then a super flat run as well. It's like there's like no elevation. There's like, it's baseline, like as easy as you could probably get to do a half Ironman, and that's what I wanted. So yeah, the bike was on completely closed roads. I love the fact that that was the case. Like I felt like I was really able to push myself, go faster, something, because riding the bike, it makes me so nervous being on the roads with cars. Like I get so anxious about it. It's like been tearing me up like the whole time I've been training. I've not wanted to do these long bike rides, not because I don't want to be riding the bike, because I actually really like riding the bike, but I just hate dealing with other people and dealing with the cars especially, and the stopping and starting and like being on the side of the road whenever they're there. it just makes me really nervous. And so having the completely closed roads meant that I was able to just really like push it, and I did it so much quicker than I was expecting. So I genuinely thought it would take me like 4 to like 4.5 hours to do the bike, but it only took me, my official time was 3 hours, 44 minutes and 30 seconds, which I was so pleased about. I still feel like there's a lot of room for me to improve when it comes to the bike. I think that of the 3 disciplines, that's the one that I am just the least comfortable, the least familiar with, and the most room for improvement. So we'll see if I ever do one of these again, but I know that if I do, the bike is definitely an area where I can really push and really get better. I just feel like I have to unlock a new level. Like, I don't know what I'm missing on the bike. I don't think I probably put in enough time with the long rides. I didn't have aero bars. I never even got like a proper bike fit, and all of those things probably would have helped me to go a little bit quicker during the bike leg. I also only got an indoor trainer towards the end of my training, and I think that I could have like pushed myself more with that as well, and like done more workouts to really help my speed with that. But I was really focused on just getting the endurance up for this rather than the speed. I also was pretty good about keeping my nutrition going as I was going. I had planned to take more of the like electrolyte tablet things and like eat more of the honey stinger chews as well, like while I was on the bike, but it's just like so hard to get a hold of. Like, the drink is really just the way to go because it's like all I could like grab like easily. So I would love to have like one of those ones with like the straw where you like don't even have to like pick it up and like be drinking it, because I feel like that also takes away from some time, because I'm just not super, like I said, not super comfortable. And so yeah, but it was good. I drank both of my carb mixes. Then my transition 2 time was 6 minutes and 57 seconds. Again, could have been quicker, but I hadn't really practiced the transitions, so that's just something to know for the future. I was just like breathing. I was like, I couldn't figure out how to get to my bike again. Just like with it being so many people, I was like, do I want to try to like lift it and go over my stuff and go under to get it back on the bar? So I don't know. I need to like understand better how people do those transitions quickly, because I just simply didn't. I also just like had a drink. I had another stroopwafel during that time, which honestly I wish that I would have just taken a gel at that point. Once I started on the run, I was feeling so good, actually. I was like, I got this is wonderful. I was like, I'm not gonna look at my watch, because I did a half marathon earlier in the year and I was really, really pleased with my time, and I went way quicker than I was expecting to go at this point in the race. And so I was like, I don't want to be thinking about that. I just want to like feel in my body what feels good, what I think I can hold for 2 hours while I do this half marathon. And I was feeling good probably until about mile 5, and at that point I hit a wall, and like my stomach just like, I was so hungry, and I wasn't planning on eating until I'd finished my first lap, and I think that was a mistake. I think that I should have had more gels throughout that whole run. I was having water at all of the aid stations, and I should have just eaten more. Like, I forgot I had like the energy chews. I should have been eating more of those. I should have had the gel, because I think I was genuinely just hungry. Like, my stomach was like hurting, but in the way that like I was just like, it was like cramping, like I was hungry. I did have one gel about halfway through, and I just don't think that was enough. But once I'd had the gel, like, I was feeling a little bit better for a little bit, and then I was just so tired and so exhausted that I was walking through the aid stations, and then the second lap of the run, I was just like waiting for like the turnaround point, and it was like, because you're so close to the end, it almost just feels so much longer. So like those last like 3 miles or so that I had to do of that run were like the longest miles, the longest 5K of my entire life, because I was just like, when this is over, like, I'm going to have completed this race. Like, I will be done. Like, I cannot believe I'm gonna be stopping. I cannot believe that I will have actually managed to do this. Like, I was flabbergasted, and it just took so long to get to the end, and I was so tired, and I definitely did walk quite a lot. I eventually looked at my watch to see how fast I'd been going, probably around like mile 10 or mile 11, and I was like, oh, I'm already at like 2 hours, which is why I ran my half marathon earlier in the year. And I was like, well, if I'm already well over 2 hours, I'm gonna walk because I am so tired and I don't think I can keep going like this. If I was to do it again, I'd want to push myself a little bit more to run that half marathon. But again, I don't really have regrets with any of this. Coming in to finish was like the most emotional but incredible feeling of my entire life. Like, I was like so happy, but I was like about to like burst out into tears. I literally like I was like quivering. I was like, I can't believe it's over. I can't believe I did this. Like, I was just like coming in. It was just like the wildest thing. And then I saw Grace and John, and I was like, oh my goodness, like my friends are here supporting me, like, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. And then I like finally like crossed the finish line, and I was like, oh my gosh, the sense of relief that happened whenever I crossed that finish line was like nothing else in the world. I'm like, that is an addicting feeling. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be pushing myself to do one of these again anytime soon, but that was such a high, such an incredible feeling. I was like, oh my gosh, I did this. Oh my gosh, I did this. Like, literally that was the only thought going through my brain. And they like gave me the medal, I got a hat. I was like, this is so cool. And I was still like just going through that like high-low emotion. I just like didn't even know how to feel. Then once the race was over, they actually had like fruit trucks, which was nice for the athletes. They had like burgers and fries. And when I tell you, the fries that I ate, they were so delicious and salty, and everything that I'd eaten that entire day had been so sickly sweet. And like, I savored those fries like nothing else. Like, they were the most delicious thing I think I have ever tasted in my life, just because they had salt and I was like craving it. Maybe that means I should have had more salt as I was running. That's probably what it is. But it was just nice to have something savory, and then also to be done. And like, I was just over the moon. It felt amazing to have finished, to have done this whole race was like I'm like so proud of myself. Like, honestly, like I had worked so hard over the past few months to do this, and to have actually succeeded is just an incredible feeling. And I can't believe it's actually over. My mind is still like struggling to comprehend that I don't have to like be training right now. Like, it's actually crazy. I literally spent the rest of the day in a bed watching The Hobbit. We watched the last 2 Hobbit movies. It was wonderful. I did not move. Grace was so kind and literally like got up and got me food and got me water and was just wonderful. I wasn't like tired in the sense of like, I feel like I'm about to like clock out and fall asleep right now, because I feel like my body was just very much on like high alert. I also got really pretty badly sunburned on my legs during this. I did put on sunscreen in all of the transitions, but I'm so wet and I'm trying to do it so quickly that like I missed like a lot. And so I'm actually still like struggling with that. It's actually still kind of painful. But I was feeling the effects of that more so than anything else. Overnight, my Oura ring did say I had a pretty high heart rate still, and it also said I had a little bit of a fever. I don't know whether that is because of the sunburn or because of the exercise or both. I suspect it is a combination of both. I think they probably both made each other a little bit worse, but I actually woke up on Sunday feeling really good. Like, I wasn't in too much pain or anything like that, which was surprising to me. I thought I was going to be like absolutely decrepit. But I think it was just goes to show like I had trained for that and I was really ready for that. And so that was a nice feeling. I think that that's pretty much the full recap of how the race went. I can't believe I actually did it. Like, I'm actually like so proud of myself. Really pushed it. This was such a good course. The weather was perfect. I had a great time doing it overall. There were definitely some low moments in there, but overall I was really happy. The run took me 2 hours, 27 minutes and 14 seconds, which I think I might have already said. So my total time for the full race was 7 hours, 11 minutes and 9 seconds. I placed 89th out of 101 in my age group, and honestly, fine by me. I hope this gives you a feel of what it's like to do your first ever half Ironman as a pretty newbie, average person. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!